Bearcat Bounce podcast. Back at it again. Monday following one of the GOATs, one of the fantastic fans, leaders, joiners of podcasts, being a host himself. We're going to talk about that. A Monday also following CB1 becoming the money number one in NFL history. We're going to talk about that. Monday following, how about this? The Big O. Congratulations at the ESPYs. Shouts to him. We're going to talk about that. Also a Monday where we are one step closer to camp starting. We are one step closer to the 2025 college football season. One step closer to Coach Scott Satterfield leading the boys out there every Saturday, Thursday, if you will, as well. We're going to talk about that. And that's why we're also going to be bringing on a guy who we've had on before. He's the very special returning guest that hopefully never stops coming onto the pod. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in everybody. We're fully assembled. We've got Aaron Smith. We've got Chad Brindle. We've got Ryan Royer. And, of course, we've got the GOAT, Niko Palazeti. Gentlemen, how are we?
Good. My weekend was made much better by getting to see Niko. You know, weekend was good already to begin with, but then you throw a little FaceTime with Niko and our old friend Brady Collins, a little Bob Mangine action mixed in there as well. And I mean, you have yourself a heck of a Saturday. Heck of a Saturday.
I mean, talk about dopamine. Jeez, that's straight to the veins right there, man. Golly. Aaron, how are we, sir? What's going on, brother?
Doing all right. Been a long day. We finally got the SUV in that the deer ran into several months back on my way to Cincinnati. So, so that's being worked on. So we're without that for 30 days. So they were supposed to give us a mid-size because, you know, rental companies are fantastic, as are insurance companies. So they're supposed to give us a mid-size to replace our large SUV, and they instead give us a Jeep Escape. I don't, whatever it's called. I don't know. Some little small car that's not much bigger than my Honda Civic. So, we're going to be taking two cars everywhere. Can't wait. Awesome.
Fun weekend.
How do you really feel, Aaron?
Yeah. Let's dive in further to your thoughts on the rental car business and the insurance business. Go
ahead. This is my therapy.
Platform. Monday night therapy. Fantastic. Ryan, did you get a shot of the dopamine that Chad did? I mean, that is an endorphin enhancer, if you will. Golly.
I actually received a special call myself Saturday when I was up at Will Adams Lake House again. It was me, Ben Bryant, Will Adams, Mr. Jacob Dingle was there. So it was another very fun weekend. We're making smash burgers Saturday night. Phone rings, FaceTime call. Coach Brady Collins on FaceTime at the restaurant with him. He was sitting next to Dylan O'Quinn, Logan Neff, who was he was an intern when I was there too. So caught up with Coach Brady and Dylan and said what up to Logan. That would made my Saturday. Just good little 5-minute phone call, just saying all the old funnies, living back on them. And then the weekend turned out great up at the lake. Got some good sun and drove my happy ass home Sunday. And I've been just in recovery mode, but we're doing good.
There we go. Will Adams is like the home away from home.
Yeah, I guess so. About 3.5 hours from Cincinnati and Norris Lake. If you haven't been, highly recommend.
Okay.
It's an awesome lake. The water's super clear, warm. A lot of good, fun people out there. It's growing a lot, so it's always a great time. So go check it out if you have the chance.
What city is that in?
It's called La Follette.
Okay.
It's the northern part of the lake. It's basically a dammed and flooded river.
Right.
It's like pretty narrow. There's not a lot of like huge, like vast open parts of it, but it's so much shoreline because it's essentially like a river that just is flowing all the way across Tennessee. But it's close to Lake Cumberland if you're familiar with that. But
Or it's like
enough
a fun
talk
lake.
about the lake.
It's a fun lake, Aaron.
Yeah, my uncle has a lake house down there. It's awesome time.
Amazing. Gosh, I mean, there's nothing better than a good, lake house weekend. Man, just the boys ripping it.
Look, summer's over.
No, it's not.
Look, camp starts Monday. Summer's over. Like we have reached the end of summer. I am busy as hell all week. I got a little last year because things kind of the roster was kind of, we didn't know what was going to happen when we got to camp, right, Niko? Last year it was like we got all these new dudes. Like doing an interview with Scott Satterfield last year, because we always do the pre-camp sit down with the head coach. We've done this for a long time. And last year I was like, look, Chad, we can do it, but I have no clue until we get out there what this is going to look like. A little bit better clue this year. So Wednesday, I'm going to sit down not only with Scott Satterfield to talk some ball, also with Tyson Veit.
Oh boy.
Those videos will be coming throughout the week leading up to Monday at Camp Higher Ground. And then we go Monday through Saturday at Higher Ground next week. And the ball's rolling. Like summer is over.
It's gone.
Okay. Goodbye, summer.
You guys might have more summer left. I don't.
Fair enough. But you know what? Summer's still here for right now. And this past weekend was a little bit of summer as well, but a summer clinic, if you will. I mean, before I shout out the boy Danco Transmission and Auto Care, Chad, you were there too, so stay on screen for a second. But I'm going to welcome in the boy, the man, Mr. Niko Palazeti. Sir, how are we, and how was it being the host of the University of Cincinnati Strength and Conditioning Clinic at the IPF? How was that?
It was great, guys. It was awesome. I agree with Chad. It has not been much of a summer in regards to vacation, but man, I'll tell you what, quality education this past weekend. Just freaking learning and sharing strength and conditioning with the fine coaches of the greater Cincinnati area, and then really great state of Ohio as well. So really great weekend in that regards. Aaron, it was funny though, because I think the last time I was on this, you had literally got in a car accident. And like the fact that we've gone full circle here, dude, it's kind of almost therapeutic for me as well. Like I'm glad I have closure on this. And I can't wait for the next time I'm on it. And like you finally have your full size SUV ready and prepared, man. I'm fired up for this, dude. I'm on this journey with you.
Probably wouldn't have happened if you got a minivan.
I mean, Aaron, we're all there with you, brother. Just bring your soapbox with you wherever you go. We'll be all ears. But Niko, what went into the event on Saturday? I mean, first off, what is it? Mondo was the name. Were they the main hosts as well with you? How was your opening? Did you have a monologue? Did you go off schedule, or did you kind of keep it pretty straight and narrow? I'm interested in these kind of things.
Yeah. So Mondo is a foreign company that we've partnered with, and they officially sponsor the event and we host it. So it's a University of Cincinnati Strength and Conditioning Clinic. It's a really great event, man. And they're super supportive of us, and they help us get incredible speakers. And we had a great panel this year. And I was fortunate enough to speak. I spoke first. And I work with an incredible staff. And so I spoke for about 20 minutes, and then we did about 30 minutes of staff demoing and had players come and demonstrate and kind of show the coaches how we do certain techniques, how we progress certain exercises, and kind of the intensity that we coach and kind of do train at. And so it was a really, really cool experience, and I had a lot of pride for our staff, pride for our facility, and most of all, pride for our players that all came and kind of attended and then got to demonstrate as well. So it was a really cool event. I'm really, really proud of it.
Wow.
Niko, I'm surprised I didn't get the call to go demo the leg press like we talked about at the IPF. What the hell?
Dude, I had the moment came and went. I blew it, dude. Could have shown
He was at the
old school
lake.
intensity, man. Just freaking blood pouring out of your ears and eyes, man. I blew that.
I would have drove back from the lake, hit the leg press so hard that I would have had to take an Uber all the way back to the lake because my leg.
Oh yeah. Golly. Well, you know what? I can't believe I missed that layup of a segue that Aaron led me on with that. Talking about the deer hitting your car, and Niko even followed up to bring the segue back in, and that's Danco transmission Nautica. Aaron, you should have had it towed over to Danco. Danco would have hooked you up, man. You would have gotten 10% off that fixing as well.
I don't think he does body work.
Hey, don't put it past Danco transmission and Nautica, man. Danco Joe would hook it up. $10 off the next oil change too. Head over to Danco transmission and Nautica. We love Danco Joe. Mentioned Deers and Aaron and Ryan and Will Adams and Niko Palazeti, and you can get yourself a nice little deal over Danco transmission and Nautica. So, Niko, let's put a bow on this thing, kind of demonstrating and whatnot. I mean, a lot of people in coaching talk about imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So when you see these other coaches come in and kind of talk about what they do and different things of that sort, how much of that do you pick up and kind of put into your regimen, or is it kind of just you take these different sides of things and you kind of maybe tweak it a little bit your way?
It's a great question. No, I like to pride myself in my thieving ability. I am unapologetically observant of what other people do well. I take a lot of pride in calling people and talking to people and picking people's brains. I think that's the best way to learn. And it's funny because I presented first, and then Coach Mick presented about two people after me. And he kind of looked at me. He's like, dude, I'm going to be talking a lot of the same things that you spoke on. And I started laughing. I'm like, I took it first, Coach. I stole it. I apologize. And we had a good laugh about it, just because, like, you are around, some of the best strength coaches. I've been fortunate to have incredible mentorship and have been around some of the best strength coaches that have ever, in my opinion, existed in the college setting. And so it would be not very wise of me if I didn't take a lot of those things I've learned from those coaches and apply it. And obviously the challenge is now, after you apply it, you put your own personality on it, and how does it progress? And I take a ton of pride in that ability to kind of learn and apply it and put my own personality on it and make it our own. But at the same time, I definitely try to give credit to the original source of it. And Coach Mick, Coach Ken Manny have been incredible mentors to me, and I've been very, very fortunate to steal a lot of the things that they do, and then hopefully pass it along to be stolen from as well.
I love to hear that.
Would you say what would you say has been your number one stolen item that you feel you've really expanded upon and put your own touch to it?
Yes, it's not very sexy, but like staff alignment, holistic development of a student athlete is number one. Like, people ask, like, what makes Coach Mick so good, and everyone's like, man, like, you're gonna, like, everyone wants to hear like the intensity, and he lays guys out, and he coaches so hard, which he does all those things and makes him a great coach. But like, I think what makes Coach Mick a unicorn is I remember the first time I was there, I had just gotten the job, and I'm watching him coach, and I'm watching the way he's interacting with staff and other support staff members, and the way he's like had so much autonomy over the whole program. And I'm like, this guy is like a mad conductor of an orchestra. Like, this guy's just playing all the strings, man. And like he could induce fighting, he could induce chaos, then he would involve other parties. Like, the man was literally like a heat-seeking missile to kind of identify flaws in a program and then use conflict to resolve it, and like to build an unbreakable team. And like, the analogy I always used was like a crucible. Like, his job was to make it so hot that all the impurities of a team melted away. And then on top of it, like just build development in the program and just build alignment and everyone feel equally invested into it. And so like, I think a lot of strength coaches are good in regards to training guys really hard or having a lot of energy or being really smart and programming and having all the bells and whistles from a sports science department. I think what makes a coach like a commodity, like an asset to a university, is the way that he can combine all those different components and make everyone believe and drive in the same way to maximize the athlete. Like Coach Mick is second to none in that regard. I think that's why he's so heralded.
I've always wanted. I don't know if
holistic approach.
Sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
Sorry, Ryan. You talk a lot about your holistic approach in regards to the way that you approach things, and I'm just kind of curious, like with this being the time of year that you probably get your hands on these kids, especially the new guys, more so than any other time of year. What are you doing with your holistic approaches and trying to foster, type of a team chemistry right now in regards to just getting everybody on the same page and everything?
It's a great question. I think the first and foremost is when you have a new athlete, you have to build trust with that athlete, and you have to show A, that you care about them, and then B, that you're competent enough to maximize their development. So like it starts kind of on a personal front, like you kind of got to open their heart to be willing to buy into a program. So we do a bunch of different things. I think the first thing that's really beneficial for us is we call it a player performance card. And so when the new player comes in, I sit down with every single player, but especially the new players, and we kind of give them almost like a report card. And on the report card, it has objective measurement. So it has what the best in their position group is from like a key performance indicator metric. It has what their best will be, and then it gives them a summer goal. And then really what it does is each phase it'll update and it'll show their progress over time and hopefully show them trending in their direction of their goals. So number one, I sit down, I present objective goals. Then I show them what their coach wants them to work on. And then I show them kind of an open area, and it says athlete player comments. And I want to know exactly what they want. So I take the time to kind of pick their brain and understand who they are and show that I care enough, and then kind of set the relationship dynamic on the regards of, if you say you want this, then I have to coach you to that standard. Are you willing for me to coach you that hard? And if the answer is yes, then it's full metal jacket. We're going after it, which if you're at UC, that's the way you want to be coached and that's the way you want to be developed. And so once you develop that kind of like initial relationship with an athlete that says like, I'm here to get the best out of you and I care enough about it to spend a ridiculous amount of time doing it, that opens their heart to the whole program as a whole. And I think the whole program is very holistic and it demands a lot. It's competitive through a point system and all these other dynamics, and it forces connection. And so what we do is, I think you're, as a strength coach, you're tasked with an almost impossible mission, which is build an unbreakable team in 8 months. Like in Royer's day, my day, you had 5 years, right? Like you had 5 to 6 years, even with COVID people. So like you just all came up together and then you won with your 4th and 5th year seniors. Like that's how Michigan State won. That's how UC won. That's how that developmental program won. Well, now what you have to do is the teams change as much as they do. And this is across the country. This isn't just a UC problem. This is everyone. And in fact, we have great retainment. It's way worse than other places. But you have to build a team that's unbreakable in 8 months. And how do you do that? I call it shared suffering. You create a really hard program in which everyone is revealed. Everyone has to be at their best because the guy to the right and left are counting on them. And that it expedites trust. And the only way to do that is to make the program really hard. And so for me, you need to maximize sports science and maximize sports performance and do all those things. But if you don't make it hard enough to reveal character and build trust with the other athletes and other players seeing their teammates struggling with them to build that trust, then I think you're falling short of the mission. And I think we make it really hard. Like everyone that I've talked to, like Dante Corleone said, this June, which we call Juggernaut June, was the hardest thing he's ever been through. And for Dante to say that really means a lot for me, but it shows the grit and the resolve of this team to willingly go through that and be on the other side as strong as we are. And so I think we had to make it that hard because this is a team that wants to be connected because of kind of the heart they have and the connection they have. And then 2, They want to be connected because of what they've been through. And so that's kind of how you build that dynamic in such a short amount of time. And I think we've had a lot of success with that formula.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I feel like it was leading right into the question that I had in both phases of I've always just been personally curious about the balance between like FU, rah, kind of like tough and nasty. Because when everyone thinks about college strength coaches, they see all the videos of you guys up there being psychos, deep, raspy voice, and kind of like getting on guys, yelling at guys, like pushing guys to the limit. But then there's the other side of it where it's like, all right, why are we doing what we're doing? What's the science behind it? How are we like integrating the program to meet specific terms of growth for specific players? And because I think you guys also have a hard job now and before where it's like you're dealing with Division I college football players. They're already like super freak athletes for the most part across the board. You know, how do you like tailor your program in terms of, are you trying to just get guys stronger, knowing that they're going to be able to retain their athleticism because they're almost kind of like plateaued in the terms of, you know, twitchiness and speed in some ways, and then kind of finally all coming back to, you know, you got a lot of rental guys, you got a new team every year almost. Like, how do you then balance like kind of like tough and nasty, gritty, like strength based, like heavy lifting versus, you know, trying to make your guys more athletic, even though it could be kind of hard to get a lot of that out of them, being that the ceiling that they're already at. But you're all balancing that like culture building versus, you know, how are we going to make our rentals as good as they could possibly be? Because we got these guys to like make plays to go out there and perform. And it's, I don't know, I'm trying to like mold three kind of questions into one, but it's all kind of centered around like the difference in overall like strength, tough and nastiness versus like science-based, like athleticism building, and, you know, making sure you're tailoring to that side too, just trying to balance that through all those phases that I was walking through.
Yeah, I think that's another great question. And I think you can view strength and conditioning on like a spectrum. I'm trying to get my hands evenly here. So like on one side of the spectrum, you have like sports science, right? Like it doesn't matter how you do it. It's all about the application of science and all those different type of components. So it's like you have performance/science spectrum. And then the other side of the spectrum, you have culture. It doesn't matter what you do. It's all about how you do it. It's all about the intent. It's all about the attitude. It's all about the neural drive, the effort, right? So in strength and conditioning, you kind of have those spectrums. Now, where a strength coach falls on that depends on A, who they are, and B, their upbringing and their mentorship. I would say for me, my line is smack dab in the middle. And we actually talked about this at the clinic. Like I said, like why I think we've had a lot of success is because players want both. Like players in this day and age want both. They want it. They want to be trained hard. They want to be pushed. They want to be challenged for the most part. Like now, some players resent it and some players will have attitudes every once in a while. Not this group, but some. But at the same time, like most 18 and 23-year-olds understand that in order to be as good as they can be, they want to be pushed. And in that environment, they want it to be energetic. They want it to be passionate. They want it to be competitive. They want to feel culture. They want to be a part of something. They want to develop connection with their guys. And that's the beauty of an 18 to 23-year-old athlete. Like, I don't think you get that in the NFL. Like, I think in the NFL, like, it's purely professional. And I think in college, no matter how much you pay them, no matter what it is, like, they still need development and they still want to enjoy a training environment. And the more competitive you make it, the more culture oriented you make it, the more freaking energetic and passionate it is, the more buy-in and the harder they're going to do it. So I think on one side of the spectrum, like it's that, but also like you owe it to the players to provide the best training program possible to maximize their effort. Like everything I view it through the lens of all I want to do is I want to create a program in which they are motivated every single rep to go as hard as they possibly can. But on the other side, I owe it to them to create a program that is as holistic as possible, that focuses on speed, power, strength, mobility, conditioning, all those different components, so that the effort that we get from a culture-oriented standpoint is put into a program. The results of that program is going to yield performance results as well. So I think, like, in my perspective, is we are in that perfect balance between cultural and new school application. So, like, that's the kind of the balance that I try to shoot for, because yes, in my heart of hearts, I believe it's all about the effort. It's all about the intent. If I come in with a great attitude, a freaking relentless effort, and just unstoppable toughness and like perseverance and how I train, I will get results. Like, I believe that in my core. That's my upbringing. That's what I know. But I also, as a coach, feel like I owe it to them to create as personalized and as specific from a position standpoint and as an individual need standpoint possible, to give them the best program, so that effort that they put in gets maximized to maximize them as a student athlete as well. So, like, I think my balance is, if you look at that spectrum, I am 50-50, and I'm trying to do both as hard as possible.
Do you feel like if it was 6 years ago, do you feel like that spectrum would have been shifted more towards culture, like 10%? Do you feel like that's kind of shifted in a way, like dealing with this like new team every year type of mindset?
Yeah, I do. And I think if you would have asked me 5 years ago, like, where am I at? I would have said, like, it doesn't matter, bro. It's 20% freaking science. But like, as you're in it more and more, like, you have to understand, like you guys know this Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
They're great. There's an article in Forbes magazine, and it talks, the owner of that team talks that we are in the service industry. Like, the Savannah Bananas are providing a service, and we are providing an elite experience. And like, I took that to heart. It's like, in today's day and age, like, you are providing a service to your athlete. Like, you are showing them that A, you care about them, and B, I am competent enough to maximize your development. Like, and athletes know now, because athletes, they go to 2 to 3, 4 schools. So like, they know when you're full of shit, like full of crap. They know when, like, you come in and you're like, we're going to do this. And then all I do is beat you down. So you're big, tough, and broken. Like, that's not the goal. My goal is to make you the best football player you can be. And my goal is to create a culture and an environment that you are pushed as hard as you can to not only be the best you can be and sharing that suffering, but become an incredible teammate to that shared suffering component. And like, I want to do that. And I don't hide any punches. Like, I am very, very honest and transparent. Like, for me, we need to go through this hardship to get us to be the team that we need to be. But I also owe it to you to maximize your development and do all these extra things to make sure that you feel validated and know that I am getting everything out of you, man. Like, I want your success. And I think in today's day and age, like, you have to show that effort, and you owe it to them to get the best out of them. And I think as we constantly evolve, I think that's why we've had the retention rate. Like, all of our guys could have left, like, all of them. Like, let's be real here. 100, want to be real? Let's be freaking real. Like, all of our best players have had so much opportunity at such a higher rate to leave. All of them. Gavin, Dante, Sorsby, Royer, Dingle, like, all of them. Every single player that we've had that, like, are the cultural corner, Gold Day, all of our DBs, all could have gone. Like, all of them. All of our linebackers could have been gone. So why do they stay? Like, we don't pay them more money than anybody else. Like, just being transparent. In fact, we underbid them. But why did they stay? Because they know in their hearts that we, A, care about them, and B, we are getting them to be the best they can be, and we are putting them in positions to have success. That's it. Period. So, like, if you don't show that, like, they're gone, and they have the right to leave. And it gives us so much. It gives us so much credibility when a new player comes in from a school like the SEC or the Big Ten, and they look at all their teammates and go, is it like this every single day? And all the play, like, our guys take pride. Like, when the new players come in and they look at our monsters, Like, you look at Jack Dingle and he looks like a cyborg. He looks like a Power Ranger. And the guy's like, what is that thing? Like, this guy could train nonstop for hours. He's a freak. Why? Because his training age is so high. And he can coach like anybody else. Like, literally, if you gave Dingle the workout, he could coach 6 racks. Like, he is that proficient. He is that high of a training age. So when you come into a new school and everyone's operating to that standard, you have automatic buy-in because the guys know that not only are you have a culture that's elite and guys caring about training, guys having great rep integrity, and then being great partners and teammates, but you also are getting great results because everyone's a freakazoid and everyone's developing. And so I think that creates buy-in and that creates retainment. And I think you're right, Royer. Like 5 years ago, how important was that? I don't know. I think you kind of get away with things and be like, yeah, we train really hard. And everyone's, oh, cool. Because they don't know any better. Now everybody knows better. And like word of mouth in your locker room and automatic trust. And like you almost lean into that. Like, yeah, we work harder than anybody else. If you don't believe me, ask all of your teammates. And everyone's like, yep. So like, there you go. So we take pride in that. And when we call it I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but like we call it our Bearcat identity. Like, what can we do better than anybody else in America? I know I've talked about this, but it's like if we try to be anyone else but the Bearcats, we will fall short. But if we know that we work harder than anybody else in America, if we are more disciplined and we are more connected, those are our edges. And our players believe that. And our players train that way. And our players, we are progressing to kind of this week to be kind of almost like a mini camp, like an OTA model. So like it's almost like this week's the first week of camp in regards to our meeting schedule and like our focusing of our run. Like we want to make that transition now. So when we get into camp, it's just seamless. We know exactly what the cultural expectations are, what the practice habits are, what their accountability structure is. So we can just roll and play ball. So we kind of incorporated that this week. And our guys are into it, man. Our guys are buzzing around. Like today was an incredible day. Really, really proud of the effort and leadership. But I think that's a testament to how we've trained our guys and that training transference and applying it to camp. I went off on a freaking tirade. I don't even know what you asked me. I'm on fire.
Amazing.
I thought you hit everything. Have you ever directly asked guys, new guys coming in, like after a couple weeks in, you're like, hey, like, what do you think about this? Is there anything that like you think we can improve on based on like what you've done previously, or like what have you noticed that we do better than other teams to kind of take that? You mentioned how you were taking you like to steal stuff from these conferences, but do you actually do like thievery involved or boosting involved by player insights coming from the transfers?
Yes and no. I think for me, I try to be kind of respectful of that boundary. Like in regards to, I tell them what it's going to be like on their visits. So like in the portal is kind of a cool recruiting opportunity because like a high school athlete is just kind of ignorant. Like they don't really know the value I provide. Like to our point earlier, like they just kind of view me as like this yelling, high energy, raspy voice guy on the sidelines that they see, and they see me before a game and I'm caffeined out yelling at them. Like they don't really they don't know the value I provide. Whereas like another like an athlete that's played college football knows what a strength coach is and knows that they're gonna be seeing me 47 weeks out of the year. Like they're going to be seeing me all the time. And so they know that relationship. And so for me, I'm very candid. I just say, listen, this is probably going to be different than what you've experienced. It's probably going to be more demanding. It's going to be more hands-on. It's going to be more holistic. Like we're going to demand everything you got. And the only thing I can promise you is that I care more about your development than anyone else. Like I will give you everything I have. Like that's my only selling point. Like my only selling point is I will give you everything I have. And I look them square in the eyes. I get emotional. Like, because for me, like if they come to UC, they are trusting me to maximize them. Like like them coming here saying, I have goals and I have career aspirations and I trust you enough to give those to you in hopes that you can maximize me. And I don't take that responsibility lightly, man. And I just look at them in the eyes and I look at their parents in the eyes and say, the one thing I can promise you is I'm going to give you everything I got. I promise you I'll get you as close to your genetic potential as possible. And it's going to be really hard and uncomfortable in the process. And they kind of smile and they say, thanks so much. And then they come here and it's exactly what I said it was. So I always like to give like a 4-day check-in, like, hey, dude, just checking up on you, man. Is it what I said it was? And they go, dude, it's been more. It's been great, hopefully. and then they usually give me some details of what they're doing that they haven't done before, and so I get kind of intels in there. But no, it's been really, really good. And I think the results that we get from the newcomers and from the portal transfer speaks a lot about the kind of the holistic nature of our program. So it's something I'm really, really proud of.
Savannah Bananas mentioned from Niko Palazeti on the BBP. How about that? Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Hey, Niko, one thing that you put your own twist on, obviously, here that you talked about before, and as Chad mentioned, we're going to wrap up summer, so let's go ahead and shut a book on it. But can you break down crew number 1 a little bit for us and what they were able to do to take home the summer championship, if you will?
Well, Gavin Gerhardt is undefeated. So he went 4 for 4 from a semester standpoint, like from 24 summer, 25 winter, 25 summer. So literally the man is 4 for 4.
Wow.
And ironically and very appropriately, he was the last. We finished it last Thursday. That was the last weekly winner, and they won it. And he was the number 1 overall point getter of the last one. And so I think Gavin will never be, the headliner of every article or the most heralded player on the Bearcats football team, but I think he's unanimously the most important. I think he's the best leader I've ever been around. I get emotional when I talk about him because the man literally embodies everything that's incredible about this.
That is a huge statement.
Yeah, I can honestly say he is the most selfless servant leader I've ever worked with in my career. Period.
And I think to give a good perspective on that, you mentioned you played at Michigan State, thinking about all the dudes, amazing players and people that you played with. Coached at Ohio State for how many years?
6.
Yeah. I mean, just, sometimes people don't just giving a good highlight as to when you say something like that, what it truly means. So sorry to interrupt, but
yeah, I mean, I've worked with Kirk Cousins, I've worked with Dak Prescott, I've worked with JT Barrett, Justin Fields, CJ Stroud. I've worked with some of the best players, Nick Bosa, Chase Young. I've been blessed to work with some really, really good football players. DJ Moore from Maryland, like blessed to work with some of the best football players in the NFL. And I would say, once again, that Gavin is the best servant leader I've ever been around in regards to just his complete care for the program. Like he will stick around. He works our hours. He'll come in and he will make sure that every single player is on time. Doesn't matter if they're in his crew or in his position group. He will clean the locker after the day's over. He will clean the weight room up with us. He will literally sit in the weight room and audit the points, like our crew points. Like he cares that much about the well-being of the program. Like, I mean, seeing his growth and like he's basically another coach and he can rip ass. Like that man has so much respect for when he comes out a player, like, and to be frank, like my respect for him is we changed the template in July. And so in July, what we did was we did 3 total body workouts, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then on Tuesday and Thursday to kind of prioritize, we call them PLPs, but it's basically like player-led practice type, OTA, run/practice type things. To emphasize getting ready for football, we are really highlighting those, and those take up the majority of our time. So we're kind of treating guys like the NFL, right? So when you come in, you have to eat breakfast at a certain time. You have a thing called high needs, which is basically like a 15-minute activation circuit that the guys go through. Then they go to meetings. So we kind of treat them like an NFL football player. Like you come in, you eat, you get your body prepared, you meet, then you go and you have your PLP, your team run/practice. And so we introduced this format, and guys are really into it, man. And 2 guys we said breakfast was mandatory, and this is like the 3rd time we've done it. And 2 players come in like 6 minutes late. Like 1 player comes in 4 minutes late, 1 player comes in 6 minutes late. And like there wasn't really like a designated. That's probably my fault. Like I said, it's mandatory. You have to come in, but like guys all came in and ate, right? Well, Gavin was like, he sees them, he sees them late. I make him do like push-ups and like I try to embarrass them in front of their peers, like just try to give them like the minimum effective dose of discipline, right? Like, okay, you're 6 minutes late, you owe me 60 push-ups, like do it in the middle of the whole cafeteria. So for me, I'm trying to feel it out. Like, okay, how severe do we need to be? Like, they have to be on time for everything. Like this breakfast is literally 6 hours before the workout. It's just for context. Okay. Mm-hmm. Gavin was like, I could see in Gavin's face that he was upset. So I'm like, okay. So I go up to him like, hey, Gavin, we haven't really clarified the severity of this. This is my thought. What are your thoughts? And he's like, Coach, I understand what you're saying, but I think this is Dawn Patrol, which in our term, Dawn Patrol is the most severe punishment you can have. You get kicked out of the workout. You lose the right to train that day. So you get kicked out of the workout. Then you have to come back on Saturday morning, and the crew captains have to take you through the workout that you missed. And it's not awesome. It's at 5:30 in the morning on Saturday. And obviously the players are taking you through it, the frustrated crew captains. And so it's an intense workout. And obviously it's supervised by a coach, but it's a severe workout. It's not great. And Gavin, despite knowing all these things, said, Coach, this is a violation. We said breakfast mandatory. They were 6 minutes late and 4 minutes late. That's Dawn Patrol. And I said, got it. And I walked in and I wrote their names on the board. I said, get out. The Bearcat Council has spoken and you're leaving. And you'll come back and make up this workout at 5:30 a.m. on Saturday morning with the crew captains. And they heard Gavin say it, and not one word was said, and that was done. And I've never been around a player that cares that much at 22, 23 years old to be that stern with his teammates than Gavin. And like, that's a grown man decision, to the point where even I was like, are you sure? Like basically it's like, crucify him. And he's like, we're doing it. Like, I'm like, okay, like we're doing it. Like, we're like, because for me, that's my captain. And that's the guy that I'm going to go to bat for. And so I always call him my captain. I go, like, and that's going to be a 3-time captain. And so for me, that was all he had to say. And I didn't even have to look. I just looked at his face and I said, what do you want to do, man? Like, it was bam, bam. And so that just shows you his care and also the respect that everyone in the entire program agreed. And it was what it was. And the guys took it on the chin and they learned from it and they're moving forward, and we're a better program because of it. And the line was definitely held, and I can thank Gavin Gerhardt for that, man. He's unbelievable.
Awesome. That is awesome.
So last time you were on, the IPF was going through its grand opening and all of that. And so now you're a month into getting to work out in this little baby of yours. And I'm kind of curious as to what are the things that you're getting out of the IPF that you knew you were going to get out of the IPF and that are not a surprise. And also, what surprised you that you're getting out of the IPF? Because I'm sure there's a couple things that have come at you and you're like, oh, shit, I didn't expect that.
Well, have I told you guys about kind of the timeline of the training in there?
No.
Yeah. So we were preparing to move in July 7th when we came back from 4th of July break. The coaching staff, being there during our recruiting visits, really enjoyed that space. And so their perception is we are moved in office-wise and the recruits are enjoying it. Well, then let's just start doing full team workouts. And so June 16th rolls around, and literally the weight room was still like the almost like the construction site storage. Like that was where everything was held. And so we on a Thursday found out that on Monday, the coaching staff wanted to be in there. And I gave my sales pitch of why I thought that wasn't probably the smartest idea. And I was overruled. And I said, yes, sir. And so we moved the entire weight room because we didn't have our equipment in. So we took it from the Linder Center over to the Shakely facility.
Way.
And over the course of 3 days, our interns were incredible. And when we got over there, Aaron, we found out that a lot of the storage rooms had porta potties in there. And a lot of the rooms were still locked and the lights wouldn't turn on, and we couldn't figure like it was not operational because it's still a construction site at the time. So we literally moved porta potties and shit got everywhere, and literally our interns and our coaches have literally been through shit for our through our facility. So that was an unexpected challenge, and we enjoyed that one. And so which leads me to my positive part. And so we moved to the new facility. Literally, man, we're going like, I'm just telling everyone, I'm like, one workout at a time. Like, all we got to do is like be prepared for this workout. Like, I'm telling the whole performance staff, I'm like, from athletic training to nutrition to sports science, I'm like, just get ready for Monday. Let's make Monday happen. And then we go. And like, I'm a perfectionist, and I'm, as you can probably tell, a little high strung. And yeah, believe it. And so the workout goes really, really well. Our guys do an incredible job, man, with it. But like in the back of my head, I'm like, man, would we have had a better workout if we were at the Linder in our space? Like, this is the most important time of the freaking summer. Like, we're changing locations. Or is this for the best interest of our athletes? So I'm thinking about all these things. And Joe Royer, who's like the most even kill guy, and he sees me, I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, well, frick, man, I'm going off. And Joe's like, dude, like, what's going on? I'm like, Joe, I wanted it to be perfect, bro. And, on that second set of pull up, your hands and this. And Joe's like, Niko, like, a weight room is a weight room. He goes, it's going to be hard no matter what. Like, you guys are going to make it really hard and really engaging and challenging. Like, I'm not worried about the weight room. Because the thing I love is I just walked in the training room today and I asked to have my, my Normatex on my legs, and I didn't have to wait 35 minutes to get Normatex. I just had them on my legs, or I could get treatment, or I could be on a table or get taped. And like, I'm like, yo, you're right. Like, I have to get outside my own self-absorbed space and realize that the best thing about the facility, man, has just been the complete accessibility and the efficiency. Like our athletes are being utilizing resources that we've never had, and then ability to utilize those in a capacity that we never had access to, man. And like, from a recovery standpoint, from a treatment standpoint, from a nutrition standpoint, from a sports science standpoint, like, we are just progressing, and where we're at is so much further along than we could ever be at that at the Linder, just because of the resources we have and the accessibility, man. It's been incredibly efficient, and I think it's been really good for our athletes.
With Brady back in town this weekend, when this whole thing was thought up, unhatched, whatever, Brady designed the weight room. Brady designed his version of the weight room, and then obviously, since you've taken over, did you guys get to compare notes and like, this is what I had in mind, but you kind of did it this way? Like, did you guys get a chance to sit down and like talk out the way that everything came out, the final product?
We did. Yeah, we did. And they're designing their own weight room at Wisconsin. And so I think Brady and I differ in a lot of the ways we view functionality, and he's super creative. And I really enjoyed hearing his thoughts about certain things and what he's trying to do, and, kind of answering my thought process with certain things. And so we talked a lot, man. We talked a lot about our current facility, what we like, what's most beneficial for our athletes, and then on the other side of things, what he's thinking, and bouncing off ideas off each other. And so it was actually a really, really cool opportunity to kind of talk with him. And I think he's really, really impressive where we are at and how the facility turned out. He obviously takes pride in it because how much he cares about the program. And then on top of it, I think he's very eager and excited about it, the new facility that he's building. And it was fun to kind of hear his thought process as well. And obviously we differ in certain things. So hearing his thought process, I was like, okay, I see where you're going with that. So it's cool. I actually really enjoyed it.
It's got to be cool to actually have that communication with somebody that he was at the beginning of the process. So obviously a million things changed from when they were thinking about what this would be to, 3 years later, what the final concept is. Like, that's gotta be cool for you to kind of have somebody that you can bounce back and forth with that off of.
Yeah, it was unique. And to put it in perspective, man, like, I remember on my interview, I was being asked questions about it. So like, that's how far it goes. And like, that's where it was at to where it is. And so it's definitely like a lot of people have put their blood, sweat, and tears in this facility. And it's cool how many different minds have kind of gone into it, and you're right to see his perspective on it and where it was versus where it turned out, and now where he's doing and how he would do certain things now based on the experiences and what he's seen. It's really cool. It was definitely a professional growth opportunity for sure.
It's awesome. One thing that happened in the weight room, though, and I, not to get off topic a little bit, was, I mean, Taran had himself some plates on plates, and Chad had Coach Cardwell on last week on the BCJ pod, and he kind of told the story from his lens, but I think the story needs to be told a little bit more from your lens. So what was going on that day, and who else is pushing some serious weight this summer?
We're strong, man. We are strong. We're strong, and we're strong through a full range of motion, which we take a ton of pride in. We call it depth to reign supreme. So we always say, like, it doesn't matter how strong you are until you can express that strength through a full range of motion. And Taran embodies that, man. Like, Taran's, I'll say it too. I'll say another bold statement. Taran's the strongest lower body athlete I've ever coached. Like, he's strong. And, like, to the point of, like, okay, enough's enough, dude. Like, I don't even know how much he had on that bar. I think he had 635 on the bar. And so it was 1+. It was like, and he had already broken the record 6 times over. Like, he's got the squat record many a times. Like, he's strong. And, like, he's already done a 1+ before, and I think he took it for 3 reps at something astronomical. But at this point, he was on the 650-pound working max chart, which is absurd. And so there's about 635 on the bar, and I go, all right, T, like, and you can't, this guy's like a wild animal. Like, he is like a wild animal when he lifts. And so I go up to him before, I said, listen, bro, 1 rep, I'm talking 1 to 2. I'll give you 2. I'm racking it. Like, I'm not going to put you at risk, like, for nothing. At this point, I didn't know cameras were in there. I don't really care if there's cameras in there, but I'm like, we're racking it, bro. Like, what's the point? Like, you've already had the squat record. We know your legs are strong. He's like, oh yeah, I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I got you. I'm like, okay. Like, let the 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids go for it. Like, you got it, dude. You're strong. And so I see him getting chalked up, man. And our guys take a ton of pride in it, man. So, like, when they lift, like, the second group comes back. So, like, the first group will train. Sorry, the first group trains. The second group will be in there, and then they'll flip. And so, like, they're all, like, coach and support each other. Like, especially during, like, those. And, like, we max out a lot. And so on any high rep days, 225, bench press, squat, like, when you know weight's being thrown around, the guys are swarming. So I already know it's a circus, man. Guys are in there. Guys are punching him. He's getting his back chalked out. The smelling salts come out. I'm going, oh, boy, this is going to be something, dude. I'm just getting geared up. I'm like, oh. So I got, like, Dante on one side, Gavin on the other side. I'm like, don't touch it unless I tell you. He comes out, he smokes one. I'm like, all right, here we go. Another rep. And I go to put my hands on the bar, like, rack it. And he doesn't budge. I mean, he's 325 pounds. I'm like, all right. He hits another one. And I go, effing rack it. And I go to push the bar. And once again, I just see his head no. And I go, oh, boom, hit 635 for 4 reps. And you've seen it on camera. I'm going. And then he racks it, and all his blood vessels' eyes are popped, and he just stares at me like a cage animal, just screaming and yelling. It's a mosh pit. I'm like, get me out of here, dude. This dude's I'm about to get freaking smoked. And so him and Gavin get out. As soon as they finish, they get that adrenaline dump, and they just start fighting, like, literally fighting people. So I'm just trying to dodge, and it was a mosh pit, bro. And then afterwards, he's feeling it. He almost went down because he got so lightheaded. It was an epic scene. And then, sure enough, someone's like, dude, you see the guy on Twitter? And I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you just see him shaking his head, smoking another one. I'm going, oh my gosh, dude, this guy's a freakazoid.
And he did pop a blood vessel, right?
Oh yeah, he popped both. His eyes would look like he got hit with a belt. Like, I mean, he was as amped up as anyone I've ever seen, man. He smoked 4 reps at 635, and you see him, man. It was just ass to grass. It was a really impressive display of strength, man. The guy's a freak.
You've done 635, right, Royer?
I think my best was, what would
365?
that be? 5 plate 25-10.
Let's go, man.
That was my final squat fest number.
Let's go, dude.
Let's go.
I was a squatter, but I was good.
Pause. Big pause.
Tonk, thanks, brother. Had a long Monday, and Niko was all I needed to run through 3 walls on my way to the gym. Stay blessed.
Let's
Thanks,
go.
Tonk.
Let's go. Who else is pushing?
I
some
hope he
big
didn't run
weight
through
here?
3 walls in his car.
He'd have to go to
Then he'd need
Danco
to go to
transmission
Danco
and out of
transmission,
there. Yeah. Shouts to Danco Joe in the chat. But Niko, who else is pushing some big weight? Let's get some name drops out there.
We got some strong dudes, man. Dante, obviously. Dante's the strongest he's ever been. He hit 455 for a double on bench press, which is absurd, dude. Gavin's the strongest he's ever been. Hit 505 on squat. We're really proud of him. A lot of really impressive cleans. Like, we're not like, we clean for velocity more than weight, but guys just get sneaky strong, man. A bunch of 315 cleaners, really, really proud of. We had a 40-inch vertical, which was really, really impressive. Kai Stokes had a 40-inch vertical.
Divide
23
that by 2 for me.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. We've had 15 guys hit 22 miles an hour or above. We're the most explosive team I've coached here at UC. So it's a really well-balanced group, man. We've got some really strong guys with some really athletic guys overall. And we reevaluated our agilities, and a 3-cone broad jump and pro shuttle had more than half the team PR there. And that was our second evaluation. So just really, really holistic agility, speed, strength, power metrics are all through the roof. So really, really, this group trained their butt off, man, worked really hard. Now they're getting the results they wanted. So really, really proud, man.
That's awesome. One final question for me, kind of, it's kind of as preseason is here and we get into camp and whatnot, and kind of off the mix of what Royer was talking with you about earlier about, kind of your approach of coaching and whatnot. What are your thoughts on bulletin board material when it crops up? Because obviously you're seeing different preseason lists come out, different, player props, different things of that sort. Are you one to use it as fuel with the team, or are you one where it's just like tunnel vision, keep everything outside out of the way and let's get it done behind closed doors and then everyone can see the hard work put in? Or are you a believer in bulletin board material?
I think that's a great question, and I think it has its time and its place. I think for right now, I think it's all internal. It's all about being as good as we can be. We can't control what people say about us. We can't control how we're projected. We can't control how other people work. The only thing that we can control is where our own headspace is at and how hard we're working, man. And I take a ton of pride in that. I think at the appropriate time, you kind of slowly reveal people to the outside noise. And I think you allow that to fuel them and motivate them when internal motivation is really, really hard, especially as the season gets closer and closer. And so I think it has its appropriate place. I think right now our team's really, really, I think our team's in an incredible place where the outside noise, while it's faint, it's fueling us, because I think it's almost to that point of like people are so ignorant to the work we put in that like, good, I'm glad. Like, I think it's a really inspiring thing where like, it's almost like you have no idea the collected group and the connection that we have, how hard that group's worked. And it's almost like we have something really, really special here. And we're really excited to reveal it through the work. And I'm someone that's more focused on what you can control. So that kind of naturally gravitates to me. And I think you allow that external noise just to make you kind of almost understand that what you have is that much more special than people could even realize. And I think this group understands that, and they work for that, and they work for one another. And I think they take pride in being counted out. And that's who we are as a group, man. That's what UC is about. Like, I think that's why I love this place so much, because I think UC is like the classic of the result of the game obviously matters, but the fight, the toughness, the grit that you show in that game is what's most important. I think this group embodies that the most. And like, yeah, like you're at UC for a very specific reason. Like if you're at UC because you're not at UC because you've had more offers than anybody else. You're at UC because you believe in a program that works hard and plays together and fights for something that matters more than themselves. And I think that's what makes UC so special. And I don't think people can see that. I don't think people understand that. And I think this group gets what makes UC so special, embodies that, and almost embraces being that underdog role more than any group I've been around. And I think it's really special. And I think it's going to build more and more as we get closer to game day.
Yeah, because, you know, we haven't really been talked about much because we haven't really been having much success. So we've been a little bit forgotten about. But I think we're all in an agreement that, you know, all the steps have been going in the right direction here, and it's really coming to a head. Week 1, first game of the season. Like, has that been something that you've been waiting to kind of, as you get closer to camp, to really start to like, hey guys, like, I know it's really just been about us for the past. It's been a process of 2 years, and I think this is the moment where it's really going to take off, is how I feel. But you'd obviously have a way better opinion. And it doesn't take off until you go in there and you whoop some fucking ass versus Nebraska on national television. And that's really that first moment of like, all right, we really feel like we have all our ducks in a row here. Everything's kind of holistically came together, like you mentioned. Everything's in line. Has that been something that you've waited for, or have you been starting to introduce that? Do you plan to introduce that to the team of like the importance of that first game? And it's really like that spotlight of your guys' work and development.
100%. Yes. I think that is 100% the thought process and what we've been doing. 100%. Yes. It's been about us. It's been about the process we've been going through. It's about building our own identity. It's about doing everything that we can control. It's about formulating an unbreakable bond. And now it's about having the right approach as we approach a game that can set our season to the right kind of focus and trajectory that we want. And so I couldn't agree more. I think that's exactly what the thought process has been behind it and exactly what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Last question. We'll let you go. Everybody knows the big names coming into camp: Sorsby, Royer, Corleone, Gerhardt, Golday. Who are some names that we're going to be talking about 2-3 weeks from now as we get halfway through camp and we're almost to the start of the season? Who are the names that we're going to be like, oh, okay, this guy looks like he's ready to go?
I think Cyrus Allen's set to have a fantastic year. I think Cyrus Allen is set to have he's our wideout that came from Texas A&M. I think he's set to have an unbelievable season. I think our offensive line, I think Joe Cotton and Evan Tanks all have worked their absolute butts off. And I'm really excited to see what those guys are capable of. Tyree Walker, Evan Pryor, Chance Williams, Manny Covey, the whole running back room has really put in a lot of work, man. I'm excited to see the results they have. D linemen, I've been really, really impressed with Jalen Hunt, Micah Coleman, Drew Logan has had a really good summer and spring. CJ McCray, obviously Rob Jackson works his butt off. It's a really good old group, a lot of different leadership and personality in there. Linebackers, man, I mean, obviously Dingle's Dingle, he's a freaking mutant, but all those young linebackers, man. I think the linebacker, you almost have like two different tiers. You have like the old head leaders, which would be Dingle, Golday, and JT, Jonathan Thompson. And then you have Mook Sims, you have Monte Whedon, and you have Simeon Coleman, who's a freakazoid. And then the back half, man, you got about 10 names you could have. Really, really impressive. I think Christian Harrison's had an unbelievable summer. I think, man, a lot of really good players. McDoom, Lolo Wilson, Kai Stokes, Xavier Williams, Taden Barnes. Obviously Antoine and Sanks have done a great job of getting healthy. It's by far the most talented team that we've had since I've been here. It's the deepest team. It's the most connected team, and it's the hungriest team. So you put all those together. I think that's to the point that we talked about earlier. It's like, how do you describe that? How do you describe a bunch of guys that have kind of been overlooked and ignored and put them all together and they have the right intention and they have the right work ethic and they build a connection, like how do you discredit that? And so you just work really hard, and then when the right opportunity comes up, you just start punching people.
Love it.
Crypt Keeper, I would let Niko stay. He has to work early in the morning. This is late for him.
This is very late for me. You're right.
Got an early call. Early call. Golly. Niko, you're
Get out of here.
You guys, man.
Niko, you're the
always
man.
Incredible questions, man. I'm sweating. So I was not expecting this. This was probably I'm like leaning forward now.
It's got us hyped, man. Yeah. I mean, hopefully we can have you on after camp. Just one final go before the season fires up, because man, this is a better perspective than we can get from pretty much anyone. So as always, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys a lot as always, man. Your hospitality and to be serious, man, you guys' support has been unconditional, and that's something I take very, very sacred. So I appreciate you guys, all four of you, more than you guys I think know. So thank you guys for the support, and you guys mean a lot to me, man. So thank you for letting me be on.
Love you, Coach. See you Monday.
Love you guys, man. I'll see you all soon. I can't wait to see you guys, man.
Yes, sir.
See you.
I'll see you guys.
See you, man. Wow.
That timestamp brought to you by Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. Quick Paper services over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next-day deliveries. They provide a wide range of food service products, from to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick, 513-470-2029, and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases. It's almost here, guys.
It is.
Summer's
it's
over.
So close. Summer is very
Summer's
close.
over.
Yeah, that's true. This is going to be, this is going to be the part, Chad, where we do a snake draft of our top 4 singles hitters of upcoming season and past. I'm joking. This is actually going to be the time where we get to riff. Niko, absolute goat on here, man. And he, as always, Royer, you're bringing the heat with those questions, getting everyone excited. So, but this is where we get to sit back and hear questions from Royer. It's my favorite segment, second favorite this week because Niko. So, riffing with Royer. Ryan, take it away, brother.
All right. What are you guys most excited for Camp Higher Ground? Let's do one football specific and then one overall being back at our little haven in Indiana.
I'll go.
Here's
first.
what's interesting, Ryan. I think we're only doing a week.
Really?
I think it's the first week. They are starting on Monday. They're out there until either Saturday or Sunday, and then I think they're back the rest of the way.
Interesting. They're like, we just built that freaking IPF. If we don't have bodies in there, all the people are like, why did we build this thing? They get way better stuff out here now.
I think the big thing is, honestly, I think the reality is the training, the recovery, the ability to, get in the cold tubs, get in the hot tubs, get in the cryo chamber, they literally have a world-class medical facility, a world-class training facility in-house now. And it just makes more sense to have your players there. Plus a little bit of climate control. Sure, you'd like to have them outside as much as possible, and they can go to Nippert if they need to, if they really want to get out and, be in the elements for a day or two. But man, the tax that some of those days up there put on your guys' body was immense.
Yeah, it is. It is a freaking grind. And I see what you're saying. And, I trust Niko and the staff to have them in a place, to feel like the culture, the bond is at a good spot leading up to that, knowing how important that is, grinding away at Higher Ground, how much it means, to the team and prep for the season, but also still being able to retain that stuff while on campus. I trust them, but I'm a little bit jealous.
You're old school. I get it. Yeah.
I am like, damn. I mean, we didn't have as nice as shit when I was there, but I think even the bad shit would definitely be a little bit more enticing to be around than being trapped away at Indiana, even though it is so good for the team.
Well, yeah. My question then, Ryan, because I've heard the point of view of obviously only like 1 week out in higher ground is, you got this world-class facility, this, that, and the other. But do you think it takes away from like the team bonding, team building, character building, culture building aspect that Camp Higher Ground made, or do you think just 1 week out there is enough?
I think it does slightly, but the only real problem that it could introduce is the guys having the ability to not go anywhere. But I think you're also introducing something where it's, we have this really nice facility. Like these guys are going to be forced to be there. And I think they're going to enjoy being there a little bit more. But I think there is something to, roughing it with your boys for 3 weeks. Like, is it the best in terms of, making sure our bodies are in the best place possible for week one? Maybe not, but they always did a good job of taking care of us, especially towards the end and having a good gauge. But I don't know. Well, I trust Niko. I mean, we've gone so in depth with him here on, his culture building, his awareness, his being directly in line with the coaching staff. And I don't think a guy like him is going to let only 1 week at higher ground, alter the trajectory of the season and and the guys would be soft or something.
Right.
I trust him, but
I think if they weren't going at all, it would be a story.
Yeah.
But you're still getting 6 days out there. You're still getting a lot of time out there. It's a lot of days. 6 days is still a lot of days to be stuck. There's no coming back and going back out there. It's just that first full week you're out there full blast at higher ground, getting your work in. I think they're going to have a night practice. They're going to have an afternoon practice. So you're going to get the full gamut of higher ground. You're just not going back out there for that second week,
we did 18 days there 1 year, and boy.
Well, that was COVID. That was a little different.
Yeah, but I mean, that was something. 3 weeks out there was, I don't know. I'm a little, you said it, Chad. I'm a little bit more old school on my thinking when it comes to this stuff. So,
aren't there some NFL teams that still do
very few?
Right, but I mean,
almost all of them now do it. Well, everybody built these palace facilities,
right?
The Cowboys still go to California. I think they've got their facility in Oxnard or whatever. But for the most part, everybody, because they have invested so much in the training facilities and the resources and the food. I mean, that's another thing. I think, Ryan got a little bit of a glimpse of it. The food at higher ground's good, but what they are putting out in that kitchen at the indoor practice facility is
next level,
high level.
Well, because when we were there, the higher ground was better food.
Yeah. Now it's not.
Yeah.
As far
as I get the argument of the tradition of it. I would be a lot more bothered by it if they weren't going out there for
at all.
If they if they just decided, okay, we've got everything here, we're going to stick here. I think that would be a bridge too far.
Right.
And I hope it never comes to that. I hope they figure out a way to get a weekend at higher ground every year.
Yeah. Well, especially because, and this is where I agree with Ryan about trusting Niko, is you have all summer to build that culture and build that connectiveness and build that team unity with all these, quote unquote rentals, as Ryan was mentioning. So hopefully by now you don't need to fabricate it by having them be out in the woods for a full month to build the culture even more. So I trust him. But like Ryan said, man, you're just 2 steps away from heading out there on Short Vine a couple of nights after practice. So
yeah, you You got to be smart. There's plenty of time to do that. Get it out of you this weekend, boys, if you're going to do it. Enjoy the freedom. Just be smart. Hang out with each other.
Let's get back to Ryan's question, though. I don't think any of us have answered it. What are we looking forward to with camp?
I mean, there's a lot of interesting. Cornerback 1 is going to be really interesting with McDoom and Logan Wilson.
Yeah.
Who comes out on top of that battle? Who gets, the number 1 spot? Who's the number 2 guy? Safety, I think, is going to be fascinating. Defensive line rotation, now that they've got, the full complement pretty much of bodies outside of Cam Rutherford, who I think, I don't think we'll see him this year from what I've heard. But they've got, almost the entire complement of bodies along that defensive line. Who emerges from that group? Can somebody be, or a couple guys be that get after the passer or be the guy that can create some havoc? Mm-hmm. Is this linebacker group as good as we think it is? The not just the starting quality, but also the depth of that group. And then offense, man, it's 2 spots. I think we know what they're going to get: a quarterback, running back, tight end, offensive line, and wide receiver. Everybody seems to be pretty confident about the offensive line and how that group's going to hold up. But you got to see it with potentially, 3-4 new starters along that group. And then Cyrus Allen, can he and that group of wide receivers look like they do for me on NCAA 26 now that I've figured out how to pass?
And there we go. Chad touched every single one.
He took all of it. I also want to mention special teams.
Okay, there we go.
There's no one on special teams that we've actually seen.
No.
Including
in
the coach.
live game action, yeah.
I'm curious to see what special teams looks like, considering that should be completely revamped.
We have seen Max Fletcher, but it was a couple years ago when he was the starting punter at Arkansas.
Correct. Mm-hmm. There you go.
We've seen him once for 1 game.
Brent and I were down there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, was I down there in Fayetteville.
You forgot your press pass up in the press box.
Oh my God, that was horrible. I was back in the day where I'm spending Ubers of hours just writing stories up in the press box. Anyway, Royer, good question.
I answered it, all of it.
I'm excited for the toys that Sorsby's going to have. I want to continue to hear if those connections are continuing to build. So there you go, Royer.
All right. So the Bearcats win let's say Bearcats fortunate enough to win week 1 versus Nebraska. I will now set the over-under at 8.5 total wins on the season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are you taking?
We all getting rich again?
8.5. I mean, if they win that, I think all it does would bump up the preseason figure from 6.5 from 6 to 7. So
I feel like that would be a key indicator for the level that this team is at. So I think that would boost.
What if they win like 13-10 in like an ugly game?
Let's say they win 27-17. Good showing from the offense. Defense does well. They seemed like they were pretty much in control the whole game.
I don't care how you do it. If you win at Arrowhead against this team, which is playing damn near a home game, I think that I don't think that talking 8, 9, 10 wins is crazy. I don't.
I mean, Nebraska is not like a national title contender, but
yeah, I haven't gotten myself past 8 yet. I close games have been a bugaboo, and there's gonna be a lot of close games. So I need to see even more than a win versus Nebraska, that they have solved whatever it was in the fourth quarter of these close games that allows them to get over the hump. So I would, if they win at Nebraska, I'd still probably hang around 8, but 9 would at least be, if they lose at Nebraska, I can't get myself to 9. If they lose against Nebraska, I can't get myself to 9.
I agree.
Yeah.
At least they win against Nebraska would allow my brain to open to the opportunity of 9. I think I would stick with 8, but at least 9 would be like conceivable, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah. You have to win one of the Big 12 road games to get to 9.
Yeah.
TCU, Utah, Oklahoma State, and Kansas. I'm with you. That 8 is as juicy gets. Getting over that 8 takes a little bit for me.
Yeah.
But you know what? Lord knows I'll be hitting up Ryan saying, "Brother, let's take the over 8.5.
We're gonna be rich."
The alternate line, hammer it.
God, yeah, good source be looked out there, bro.
Plus 500.
Lock it in. Lock it in. All right.
Hell yeah. All right. More lighthearted, bigger picture, because it's hard to think of details at this point until we get some actual report back from camp on what's going on. What is your favorite memory of Bearcat football?
Wow.
Keep it a football heavy podcast for me today.
I don't know that my favorite memory will ever change.
Yeah.
And it's been my favorite memory for almost 2 decades now.
I hope you're picking the one I'm thinking of.
It's not, probably not.
Okay.
It was standing on the field when Oregon State came to town and seeing an electric Nippert Stadium, like a truly full electric Nippert Stadium for really, and like, even if you go back to like the Rutgers game,
Yeah.
the D'Antonio's last year, like it wasn't sold out. It was pretty full, but it wasn't full. That Oregon State game for me was like and then they dominated that game.
Yeah.
And that was probably the first time I ever really got to the point of like, this might be sustainable. Like, that was never a thing. Like, that was never even a thought for UC football. It was a dream. Everybody wanted to see it happen. But then standing there and seeing that place full on Thursday night, Nip at Night, like the start of Nip at Night, really, and the performance and the way that the energy just felt different around UC football for really because nobody thought they were going to beat Rutgers the year before, right? Rutgers was top 5 in the country, and Ray Rice and like they and Shiano, like that thing was rolling.
Yeah.
It was a legitimate shocking upset.
Mm-hmm.
But then you fast forward a year and the city had gotten behind it. They had gotten behind Brian Kelly, and it was just something about that night that you looked around and you thought, man, this is incredible. Like, college football has made it to Cincinnati. And I don't know that I'll ever shake that feeling. There's been the Pitt game and the Houston AAC championship to go to the playoff, and
just taking all of them again.
There's so many that are the headliners, but there was just something that has always stuck with me about that night against Oregon State. That was like the corner had been turned. I think Rutgers was like, you were going in, like you had got to the light and you had started to turn, but it was the first time it really felt like this thing has arrived. This thing is legitimate. And I don't know that I'll ever have a better feeling about UC football than I did walking back to the car that night.
To Quiz Rogers.
Yep.
Taking him down.
Blast from the past.
Here we go. Aaron, take yours. Go ahead.
As a fan, it was the Sauce UCF game where he had his coming out party. I had season tickets. It was a blast. I am glad that I wasn't too drunk to forget that entire situation.
Which was rare for you going to games.
Look, I mean, not true. For me to not remember a game, that'd be rare. But there was some things that were hazy. It's fine. But as covering the team, it has to be Houston for me. Just me and Brent down there next to each other, soaking it all in as the clock winds down. That game was absolute insanity anyway. And then just the whole storybook of that entire season. You lived it, Ryan. I mean, I don't have to tell you anything about it. It was just incredible. And to do that in I think that was my second season covering the team, first season in person, because COVID knocked out my first year. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I was glad that the American Conference still does like home game, conference championship game. Like that was just picture perfect for the situation we were in. I think for the country too, to be able to watch us do it at home. Like that was just everything aligned.
Yeah, like imagine that game played at a neutral field with 100 fans in attendance. It would just stuck.
You want to know my favorite memory from that game?
Broken leg?
No. The next year at Squad Fest, that game was on.
Brady had it on in his office.
No, it was on like ESPNU or whatever. They just happened to be.
Oh, I thought Brady did that on purpose.
No, it just happened to be on.
I kept turning and watching it.
Don't act like Brady wouldn't have done that on purpose.
Sure. But things are looking a little rough going into halftime.
Yeah.
And I look at Fickle. I go, you guys better get their shit together. And he goes, I'm confident we'll have a good second half.
and Sauce is there too.
I'm confident we'll be all right
too.
Yeah.
Glancing up at the game every once in a while.
Everybody was just kind of keeping an eye on just to make sure the outcome, that we didn't get Mandela affected and that the outcome stayed the same. Everybody kept their eye on it a little bit, but no, I think we'll be all right in the second half. I think we'll be good.
Aaron, I agree. A couple tears rolled down my face there, standing on the field during that Houston final. I mean, when they did the little phone thing and everyone had their phone out, that was pretty cool. Obviously Pike to Benz. I wasn't there in person, so it kind of takes away from it. I was actually like facing a hangover from hell, so like that kind of deterred my excitement level, but I was fired up watching it. But I loved the Notre Dame game that year as well. Just like the Let's Go Bearcats chant, that was just so loud. Seeing like so much red in the stands and whatnot. That was a awesome game, awesome feeling. So, I mean, that whole season was magical. So, just any of those, really. Thank you for the lighthearted trip down memory lane, Ryan. Also, one final thing. Were any of you guys at that Ohio State game at Paul Brown when it was Gino had like 4 attempts in the end zone in the final drive of the game to upset the Buckeyes, and they wouldn't have played in the national championship, and they wouldn't have won the national championship that year if we pulled that upset. I was there, and it was just, oh man, another moment that could have been awesome, but it was not. But yeah, a lot of excitement, a lot of it. Ryan, you got another question?
You know how we like to do it, Brent. Go ahead.
Man,
go ahead. Let the people know.
Money was on your mind last week. It was kind of wild. You were texting me. You were like, brother, what's up, man? I said, what's up, dude? And you were like, hey, dude, Shane Gillis is pretty funny, don't you think? I was like, yeah, I mean, he is funny. And you were like, oh my gosh, how about that contract that Sauce Gardner signed? And I was like, wow, yeah, you're right, man. What an awesome contract extension. 4 years, $120.4 million, highest ever for a cornerback in NFL history. And he mentioned his brother being a part of it and whatnot. And it's kind of funny because it brought me back to the past when I was at Camp High Ground with Chad, and it was Sauce versus Alec 1v1. And I was just tweeting about it a little bit. And of course, his brother slid into the DMs and said, "Hey, I'm Sauce's brother. He keeps telling me that he's looking good in camp. Is he true or is he just lying?" And I was like, I think he looks pretty good. I think he'll be all right. He's a lot better than advertised, this, that, and the other. And ends up being that he was all right. So then you were like, hey, like if you signed an extension like Sauce just signed, what would be the first thing you would do with your pocket full of cash? And I said, wow, let's just save this for the BBP. I think this would be a good question on the BBP. And Ryan, I ask you one question as well. Your favorite Sauce story that you can say on air. Remember,
that doesn't involve the sock. We already
there
know
are
the
a lot
sock
of
story.
people out there. Favorite Sauce story that you can say, and then what would you guys do if you signed a Sauce Gardner contract? What would be the first thing you would do?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of, because all my favorites are all revolved around things that are similar to or they suck. Honestly, like this is kind of just like after that pick 6 he had versus UCF, he's a young guy. Like he was always like a super confident player, but he was never like a douchebag. And then just after he had that huge play, and then how he translated all the way through, like from ended up being like arguably one of the best cornerbacks in college football history. Just like how he never changed and how he never was like he never like thought he was too cool to like mess around and like mess around with like the walk-ons and like be cool and hang out with us.
Big time people.
No, he didn't big time anyone. And I guess it's like a big picture answer, but just like how he never changed. He always like stayed himself even after like he was like one of the most popular college football players.
Yeah.
So I guess that's probably my best memory of him. Just overall how he was as a player, as a teammate. So I was super happy to see him get that money, and he deserves every bit of it.
What would be the first thing you would do?
Me, I would probably, out of $140 million, I would probably take $130 million of it and invest it. And then with the $10 million,
that's the first thing you would do. You sign it that night. What are you doing?
I'd probably organize a way to get like my family and like my friends and everyone to kind of just host like a nice thing where we get a bunch of nice food, get an open bar, everyone just kind of like get to celebrate and hang out together, and do it nice, get a bunch of nice food, some nice drinks, maybe get a nice, fun, expensive cover band, or maybe buy an artist to come out and perform or something like that.
Wow.
But just something to celebrate with my people and take care of them.
Guys, come over. I got Chapel Roan coming here and up there.
Yeah.
Check in.
I've always, if I ever won the lottery or came into a large sum of money, I've always had one thing I wanted to do. And that was over here in God's country, somewhere in northern Kentucky, find like a 5-10 acre plot of land and build like a couple houses and have, the crew, my dad, just your people all right in the same little, maybe build a clubhouse with a pool, big fat ass like chef's kitchen where everybody can come and have dinner and whatever. Like that's always kind of been the one thing I've wanted to do if I came into a little compound if I came into a bunch of money.
Gosh, that's funny. When you said you were going to buy all those acres, I thought you were going to expose your dream of being a dairy farmer, but you You went in opposite direction there.
Opposite direction, yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I mean, I might try to get some Wagyu cows. Like, if I'm gonna have like a chef's kitchen, might not hurt to be sustainable with your own grass-fed beef.
That's true.
We just bought a half a cow this past week, and that's a lot of meat.
It's a lot of food,
meat,
bro. It's a lot of food.
Digging through. There you go, Aaron.
I'd build a barn, like one of those barn dominiums out here, like just a giant house on a giant plot of land. Somebody did that recently out here, and it's amazing. And I'm insanely jealous. Upgrade the cavalcade of vehicles at our disposal. Probably go to Disney, something that none of these kids have done before. While the girls are young, I think that'd be fun. And I don't know. There's
that kind of money. You could have just a private party with all the princesses.
Well, I was gonna say no.
Now we're talking.
Now we're
talking.
weird.
You're the daughters. Jeez.
Well, my what I would do does involve all the Disney princesses. So. Not for my daughters.
There's also a little the OU airport is right around the corner from me, and I'm really getting tired of this 2-hour trek back and forth to UC, and Lunken's not far, so maybe we figure something out to where I'm doing pilot lessons.
Oh, pilot lessons.
Wow.
Pilot lessons. That sounds fun. Go cover the game and fly back.
I like it. Yeah. Go. That's a good idea. Really good idea. Well, that's fun, guys. I love riffing with Royer. That was exciting. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Do you want me to timestamp? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I would just do what Royer would do. I would have a huge party, just a massive party. Rip through about.
Well, like once the compound is built,
rip through a good chunk of the money on night one. But,
once the compound is built, we'd have a party.
Oh yeah.
We'd have a party at the compound.
Oh yeah.
Be sure of that.
Oh yeah.
I'd have to wait to fly home.
Well, and then I would give 100 million of it to the University of Cincinnati.
And maybe I'd put a landing strip, Aaron, in the 10 acres, and you could just fly the plane to my house.
We commute into the games.
Yeah.
Josh, you know what I'm talking about, Mr. Burkowski.
That timestamp brought to you by Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. They provide mostly disposable restaurant supplies, to-go containers, cups, pizza boxes, to-go bags, can liners, napkins. They've been open since 2009 and are one of the largest minority-owned companies in the city. Call my guy Nick, 513-470-2029, and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
Boom. Now, before we hop in the mailbag real fast, just some ends and odds to put together. Des Ritter signing with the Bengals. Pretty awesome. If
you want more on that, Aaron and I had a whole nightcap on it last night.
Yes, sir.
Sure enough.
Kriisa looks like he's going to be an absolute fan favorite.
That was so good.
Bob Mangine.
Karaoke with Bob Mangine.
Summer of 69.
I literally was laughing when I watched that whole thing. And all the teammates picked him too. So
yeah, he's legitimately a funny dude.
He is doing something right. Memphis tried to, find a date late night at the bar, but everyone was taken, and they are now stuck with their "Are you up?" American Athletic Conference. Are you up? And they said, "Yes, I'm up, and you can come up." So, congratulations.
They're living the clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with the American Athletic Conference, or the American Conference. There's no longer the American Athletic Conference, just the American Conference.
We will give you $200 million to accept us in, and you can kick us out in 5 years if you don't like us. Big 12 says, no, we're good. We're good on that. Anyway, and then Chad, I'm going to say 2 names. You tell me the interest level or if it's very early in the process. 2 basketball recruits, both
It's
made
early
the
in the
top
process.
7 of Chris Washington Jr. and Marcus Ponder.
I mean, they're in there. We'll see. I mean, now it's, can you get them on campus for a visit? Can you close the deal? You're entering that portion of, you know, the recruiting window. So they're where they need to be. I'm sure the summer's pretty much done in terms of, basketball recruiting. So you're going to start seeing guys cutting lists and setting up visits, and that's really when we'll start to get a good idea of who they're prioritizing. But yeah, those 2 guys are priority guys, and let's see what the next couple steps are.
There you go. All right, Aaron, take it away, brother.
Oh, let's hop on the mailbag. It's not super long tonight, and we can get out of here. Starting in the football portion of the mailbag, as we always do. What position battles will turn the most heads in camp?
DBs, Chad? Question mark?
Yeah, I mean, who's going to be 1 and 2 at corner? And then what does safety look like? I mean, there's a lot of bodies. There's a lot of guys that I think are talented. One of the things Tyson Veit has talked about is there's versatility within that group. There are guys that can play multiple spots and be effective in multiple ways. So safety, running back 1, who's going to be, has Evan Pryor done enough to be that every down back? Or are you going to see Tyree Walker in between the tackles on 1st and 2nd down, and then Pryor is kind of again in that home run hitter role? Wide receiver. There's quite a bit that's going to be interesting. I mean, I think we know what the offensive line is going to look like from Cotton, Tengestal, Gerhardt, Teo, and Buford. But second team offensive line is going to be pretty interesting to me as well, to see not only if/when something happens this year, what it looks like, but what does it look like long term? Because you're not going to have a whole lot of time with these guys that are stepping up now. So
I think that covers all of it.
It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be an active camp in terms of watching position groups and figuring out who's going to end up where.
All right. Any guesses on what was spent on this roster and how it stacks up against previous years?
Well, revenue share is part of this roster being built. So it was a lot more than has ever been spent before. I would say if you combine rev share and NIL, probably north of 10. Because what I don't know is, did they use all of the rev share for football now, or are they saving some for when they get to the winter? Since the fiscal year doesn't start until July 1st, like did they use all of it, or did they have some reserved to be able to go out and give guys, immediate money in the winter? That part is still not exactly clear. And guess what? They're not going to tell anybody, because it doesn't do them any good to have that information made public. Like what just happened at Kentucky tonight, which, boy, if they fire Mark Stoops and what came out tonight is true, I don't know how you get anybody to take that job.
No chance.
For real. For real.
Yikes.
Yeah, if you haven't heard, it got leaked tonight that Kentucky's going with basically a 55-45 split I don't know what the other sports are going to be getting, but a lot of these places are going like 75-15, 75-20 in terms of their rev share split. Kentucky's going almost 50-50 between football and basketball, which that is, given the conference that they play in, that is almost a nail in the coffin for Kentucky football.
Mhm.
How much did they just spend on the Moeller kid?
Probably most of it, like 55-45 split. They ain't got a whole lot left.
Crazy. I guess he plays 2 sports anyway, so maybe that's a bargain. You're
He'll never play a snap of football at Kentucky.
Football or baseball?
He'll never play a snap of football at Kentucky.
All right.
He's probably not going to ever play baseball at Kentucky either, because once you go to college for baseball, you're in for 3 years. Same as football. You're locked for 3 years. So he's going to get drafted pretty high next year. I don't think he's going to go to college. I don't know why you would.
Not the last question. We still got some more. Which is more likely to happen in 2025? Football finishes top 3 in the Big 12, or basketball wins at Cintas. It's been since December 2001. Yes, I just threw up a little while typing.
Basketball.
Yeah, Cintas.
It's going to be difficult to win there, but this is not a great
Take
Xavier
down
roster.
Patino in year 1. Come on.
Yeah, it's not a great roster for Xavier. UC has more talent. If you're going to win there, this is the year to win there. Go get it done.
For numerous reasons outside of
Yeah.
the ones you mentioned too.
Yeah.
But they got that guy with the weird tattoo and the guy with the glasses who's super tall and looks like he's 15. He'll be fine.
They will not be all right.
All right. Would adding Hudson at tackle, Ponder on the line, Ivan Pace at linebacker, and Wiggins at safety allow the playoff team to be more competitive versus Bama?
Would adding 3 great players?
Well,
Yes.
yeah. 4 great
Come on,
players.
Mark, just because we have a mailbag doesn't mean you have to answer a question. You got to do better than that.
I mean, Hudson at
Yes.
tackle would be massive.
Yes.
Pace at linebacker. I mean,
Wiggins. Well, no, I mean,
obviously.
Wiggins at safety, sure, but you had 2
Hicks
great
and
safeties.
yeah,
You had 2 great safeties. That Brian Cook guy's
Cook.
pretty good.
Yeah, he's not bad. I mean,
Yes.
Ponder on the D line too. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have made them more competitive versus Bama. Yeah. Well, here's the only problem. Hudson does help at tackle, but they needed a lot more help on offense against that Bama defense.
Yeah.
Well, Fallick makes that catch. Either one of those catches, I guess.
Yeah.
Ryan's not on screen.
He knows. All right. Any updates on where the Cincy Light money is going? Has it switched over to the Athlete Impact Fund? I think people deserve an answer on this from Rheingeist, UC, Cincy Reigns, but they've been silent.
First off, you don't deserve anything. Come on. But you bought a case of Cincy Light, so you now deserve to know exactly where the money is going.
Now you're a shareholder.
Yeah, come on. To my knowledge, there has not been a decision on how that is going to be handled. So until there's not an answer. So even if you deserve one, there's not one yet. So it's hard to get an answer to a question that hasn't been answered. Don't know yet. I've asked. I've been told they're still working through that process.
Moving on to the basketball portion of the mailbag. As we sit here on there's Ryan. We were just talking about your
Sorry.
boy,
What was it?
Alec. Well, the question was, would adding Hudson at tackle, Ponder on the line, Ivan Pace at linebacker, and Wiggins at safety allow the playoff team to be more competitive versus Bama? Chad said that Hudson at tackle improves the line, but they needed a lot more help against that Bama defensive line. I said Alec needed to make a couple catches that were close.
Did Dez
don't
overthrow
remember.
him, you think?
I remember the one that he was wide open and it got knocked down at the line of scrimmage our first drive.
Yeah.
I don't remember some of those other ones.
The one he
I think
went
there's
up,
the one in
one
the
more.
end zone.
Yeah.
one in the end zone he went up for and couldn't come down with.
But that was a little high.
If you're going to beat Bama, you got to make that play.
I agree.
I mean, like
I'm sure Alec would agree with you. I don't remember the play though.
Like, I'm not that. It was a tough catch, but
Absolutely.
Alabama was supremely talented. If you're going to win that game, you're going to have to make great plays to beat that Alabama team. And he didn't make the play.
Yeah.
That's not saying he's a bad player or he sucks or, like it's just like, and Ryan's right. I'm sure if he ever could get one of his best friends on his podcast, we could ask Alec that. And he would say, I probably should have caught that ball.
All right, basketball portion of the mailbag. As we sit here on 721, what % chance do you give each of the following outcomes? Jizzle James is not in the rotation by 2-1-26. Halveen Zella is in the rotation by 2-1-26. Buck Harris ends the season shooting greater than 33% from three, or Mustafa Cham ends the season shooting greater than 33% from three.
Becky, us two. Becky, us two. Maybe Brendan's mom. Brendan's mom tuning in.
Welcome to the show.
Daddy.
If Jizzle's healthy, he's in the rotation all season.
Yeah.
Not in the rotation is like
Injury.
that's a wild.
It's only injury.
Yeah, injury is it. Now he may be at 20 minutes instead of 27, 28 minutes. Yeah, that's possible. But he'll be on the floor. Zella, I want to think he's going to have an impact, but there's so much already inside that he's going to have to pass.
Yet again, injury.
10%. I think he could play as well. Like, if rebounding is struggling.
Rotation,
Yeah. Buck Harris at 33%. I'm not. I'll go 10%, and then I'll go like 33% that Cham shoots above 33%.
I'm there with you on this.
I think Buck Harris is going to be a better shooter than he has been. But man, he was at what, like 15% from three last year, 16% from three. Like he's gonna more than double that percentage. That's asking a lot. It's asking a lot. He's not a great shooter. He's working on it. He's working his butt off on it. He's not a great shooter.
See how much the doctor can doctor up that shot.
He was 11.3% last year.
Yeah.
And
then
then
triple his percentage to get to
31.7% at Illinois freshman year. 13.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that was limited shots, taking
41 threes,
taking very good, wide open rhythm looks. Maybe he can get above 30.
Yeah.
That'd be something. All right. Might sound stupid, but every year I wonder, can the Cats win close games at the end by getting to the free throw line and then making 1-and-1s with the game on the line? Overall, shooting better than 65% from the line. Would a sports psychologist be worth the investment for the above to happen?
No. Sports psychologist isn't going to fix. Go. It's 15 feet. Go put your feet to the line. Put the ball in the basket.
Yeah. Gosh, what was it against TCU or was it I think it was TCU, right, at home 2 years ago. Dan at the line, 1-and-1, misses the front end. They get a rebound. We foul, go to the other end. It's just like Both teams missed the front end of a 1-1. It's just what the heck?
Yeah.
Death taxes and the Bearcats missing free throws. All right. Explosion of 3 offers out in California. Impressed with all 3? Question mark.
Thanks, Jerry. I didn't make it on the road to see kids, so I don't know. I know they're talented, 4-star guys. Sure. I don't know what the question is.
Were you impressed?
Impressed with the offers, sure. I was impressed that they were offered.
Yes, me too.
And there were no questions this week in the baseball or the Banks mailbags. That's the mailbag. Brent, get us out of here.
Wow. Guys, we were joined by a legend earlier. I don't know if you know that. One Niko Palazeti, the guy just simply knows how to get us all fired up, get us all ready for week 1, a little Thursday night soiree with those guys up in Omaha, Nebraska. Take them on down in Arrowhead Stadium. Exciting building. We're a week out from the start of camp. Chad will be locked in on everything there. Got 2 big interviews coming up this week. Stay locked into BCJ for those. And you know what? We're going to keep this party rolling along. But thank you, Niko Palazeti, for coming on. Thank you to Quick Paper Supply for their timestamps. Thank you to Danco Transmission and Auto Care for everything they do. And thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. But for the guys, for the crew, for the pod brethren, for Aaron Smith, for Chad Brendel, for Ryan Royer, I am Brent Young. Yet again, another fantastic BBP presented by BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!